circumstances behind the importation of hazardous petroleum products into Nigeria. The 15-man ad hoc committee constituted by the Senate leadership stated his commitment at its inaugural briefing in Abuja. Chairman of the committee and leader of the Senate, Opeyemi Bamidele, said the terms of reference will see them invite relevant stakeholders to answer questions regarding the shortcomings in the petroleum sector.
Investigation seeks to identify and hold accountable all parties involved in the importation and distribution of the adulterated petroleum products, PMS and AGO. This includes suppliers, importers, regulatory bodies, and any other entity that may have contributed to this serious lapse in quality control.
The Senate leader also said the committee will unravel reasons why local refineries are mostly not operational.
With a view to addressing fundamental issues that pose grave threats to our economic prosperity, fiscal stability, and public health as a nation. In line with our mandate, we will definitely unravel the roots of economic sabotage in Nigeria's petroleum industry and make necessary recommendations that will entrench global best practices in the industry and open it up for more investments, especially in the midstream and downstream sectors. We are utterly committed to this mandate. We shall also carry out this national assignment without fear or favor. We shall be fair and just to all parties with a view to promoting and protecting the strategic national interests of our fatherland.
Some of the entities expected to submit their memorandum of understanding include the Minister of State Petroleum, Ministries of Finance and Trade, the NNPCL, CBN, NIMASA, Customs, Navy, Dangote Oil, among others. An explosion suspected to be a planted improvised explosive device has exploded at the popular Buniyadi market in Gujba local government area of Yobe State. A resident of Buni, Ali Hassan, told newsmen via telephone that the incident happened at about 12:30 p.m. during a girl. The spokesman of the Sector 2 Joint Task Force Operation Hadinkai, Captain Mohammed Shehu, also confirmed the incident, saying another IED planted in the market was discovered and successfully detonated by the army. He further explained the only victim of the explosion is currently receiving treatment at one of the health facilities in Buniyadi. He expressed the incident was a planted IED and not a suicide bombing incident. Buniyadi, located 54 kilometers away from Damaturu, the state capital, was the worst hit local government area in Yobe State under the control of the Boko Haram insurgents for 2 years. Chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Mahmoud Yakubu, has declared that the electoral umpire is capable of successfully conducting local government elections if saddled with the responsibility by law. The Commission boss made this known when he appeared before a joint National Assembly Committee on electoral matters to present the Ondo and Edo off-cycle elections budget. Mahmoud says that the Commission can conduct local government elections if the responsibility falls on it.
Is there any specific thing you would like to know about the position of INEC? But so far, we have had three broad arguments or positions canvassed. One, transfer responsibility for the conduct of local government elections to INEC. The question is, and that's probably what this joint committee wants to hear, if that is done, can INEC cope? I will come back to that. The second proposition we have had is that no, there should be a new Federal Electoral Commission for local government elections. And then thirdly, there is another argument that no, leave the state electoral commissions to conduct local government elections in the spirit of federalism, but find a way of ensuring that they improve on the conduct of local government elections. Right now, the law has not been amended. The same constitution that creates INEC also creates the state independent electoral commissions. So it is up to the National Assembly to amend the law to transfer that responsibility to INEC. If that is done, the question is, can INEC cope? Because we have also been saying that we should be unbundled. That is true, but we have never said that we should be unbundled beyond the conduct of electoral activities rather than elections.
The INEC boss expressed fresh fears over the upcoming off-cycle elections in Edo and Ondo states. He particularly noted that apart from a strain on state facilities, there is also the issue of governors using power of incumbency to the detriment of other opposition parties and their candidates. Speaking specifically on Edo, Mahmoud noted
state facilities like stadia and public spaces in public buildings. It has been an issue in previous elections. So far, so good, but it is now that the campaign is heating up, and this matter is likely to come up.
Pape Old Market traders have appealed to the Inspector General of Police, IGP Olukayode Egbetokun, to halt the ongoing demolition of the market to serve their means of livelihood. The traders made the appeal in a petition written to the IG on behalf of the traders by Dr. Suleiman Usman of Gamzaki Law Chambers. He also emphasized the need for the IG to order the suspension of the demolition until the matter pending before the High Court is resolved. Usman said, as this is in line with legal principle, that matters pending before a court of law should not be prejudiced by actions taken outside the court's jurisdiction. He also appealed to the IGP to deploy adequate police presence to maintain peace and order, as well as to protect the lives and properties of the affected citizens. The senior advocate of Nigeria said that the demolition constituted a severe disregard for the rule of law and the judicial process. You're watching the news on Liberty TV at 3. You can also watch us live on our social media platform. Coming up after the break, federal government to further strengthen 50-year-old business ties with China. Join us for details of this and more right after the break.
That gives civil rights and justice for all. Nigerian voices will be heard. We are the voice for the people. We bring you news, entertainment, foreign affairs and politics. Station you can trust with numerous awards. The #1 for Nigeria. Straight from the north with national flavor. Broadcast house of your choice. Voice for all. Liberty. Liberty. TV and radio. Bilingual news platform. We are the voice for all. You see, Liberty is a station that we love so much. I would like to acknowledge the people who give it the best of the best. Under the able and dynamic Dr. Ahmed Tijani Ramalan, the station's executive chairman. Much love. Sanu. Issues in the news, can it be true? Voice for all. Liberty World News, Obodo Naija. Voice for all. Guest of the week, democracy in practice. Voice for all. Truba Democratia. Voice for all. Spotlight, health matter. Voice for all. Gamzati magazine program. Voice for all. Yalla Bari Dunia. Voice for all. Movements. But this is how.
You're welcome back. The federal government has promised to further strengthen the 50-year-old business relations between Nigeria and China. A statement by Special Advisor to the President, Ajuri Ngilali, said President Bola Tinubu gave the assurance in Abuja while receiving the Vice Minister of Foreign Affairs of the People's Republic of China, Chen Xiaodong. The President welcomed the support of China for a more prominent position for Nigeria in the G20, UN Security Council, and the Intergovernmental Organization of Developing Economies, comprising Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Tinubu commended President Xi Jinping for consistently strengthening relations with Nigeria and Africa. The President also thanked President Xi Jinping for an invitation to visit China. In his remarks, the Chinese Vice Minister of Foreign Affairs said he was in Nigeria to brief the President on the invitation extended by President Xi Jinping and the itinerary of the state visit. A look now at the international scene. Former U.S. President Barack Obama has endorsed his fellow Democrat Kamala Harris' bid for the White House, delivering a major boost to her campaign to beat Donald Trump in November's presidential election. The influential former leader was one of the last Democratic heavy hitters to offer his endorsement, with Harris having already received the backing of President Joe Biden on Sunday to take his place on the ballot. Obama's backing will add to the growing momentum behind Harris' campaign, which has enjoyed a groundswell of support since she announced her 11th-hour candidacy. Harris, 59, jumped into the election after weeks of turmoil over 81-year-old Biden, who bowed out after a dismal debate performance against Trump accelerated concerns over his mental capacity and persistently. Journalists at some of Australia's largest newspapers launched a rare 5-day strike down in tools ahead of the Olympic opening ceremony due to a rancorous pay dispute. The strike hit the Sydney Morning Herald, The Age, and the Australian Financial Review in one of the most significant acts of industrial defiance to hit Australia's troubled news sector in years. It is estimated hundreds of journalists employed under the umbrella of Night Entertainment have deserted newsroom in major cities in Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, and Perth. While the dispute is tied to pay negotiations, tensions have heightened after management recently unveiled a plan to slash as many as 90 newspaper jobs across the country. Like many newsrooms across the globe, falling print revenues and the rise of social media have fueled repeated rounds of job cuts across Australia's media. And now talking sports, Nigeria's Quadri Haruna has been handed a familiar foe in Romania's Edward in his first game of the men's singles of the table tennis event of the Paris 2024 Olympics. But he's on Padre Olajide Omotayo has a tough duel against Iran's Noshad Alamian in the first round of men's singles in the table tennis competition at the Paris 2024 Olympic Games. The draw, conducted on Wednesday, July 23 at the South Paris Arena and witnessed by coaches and team managers, also handed Africa's flag bearers, Egypt, a big hurdle in the team and mixed doubles events like Omotayo. Offiong Edem will lock horns against Brazil's Bruna Takahashi, while debutant Fatima Bello will face a Herculean task against the Chinese-born French star Jianana Yuan in the first round of the women's singles. The Paris 2024 Olympic Games marks a momentous occasion for table tennis, its 10th appearance as an Olympic sport since its debut at Seoul in 1988 in South Korea. An Australian field hockey player identified as Matt Dawson has decided to remove a finger on his right hand after getting injured during team training in Perth. Dawson's decision was aimed at ensuring he competes at the 2024 Paris Olympics in France. The 30-year-old hockey player narrated that he passed out when he saw his finger in the changing room, thinking his Olympic dream was over. Thereafter, he met with a plastic surgeon who told him that the finger may not function well after surgery, which will take a long recovery time. However, with the option to amputate it, he could be back playing in 10 days. Dawson's decision to take part in his third games comes after joining the